Hi everybody, I'm the gifted coordinator for Youngstown City. My name is Michelle McCautry, and I'm going to read to you one of my favorite books. It's The Sweetest Fig, and it's by Chris Van Allsburg. And if you don't think you know Chris Van Allsburg, you probably do when I say Jumanji. So this is the same author as Jumanji. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Monsieur Bebeau, the dentist, was a very fussy man. He kept his small apartment as neat and clean as his office. If his dog Marcel jumped on the furniture, Bebeau was sure to teach him a lesson. Except on Bastille Day, the poor animal was not even allowed to bark. One morning, Bebeau met an old woman waiting at his office door. She had a toothache and begged the dentist to help. "But you have no appointment," he told her. The woman moaned. Bebeau looked at his watch. Perhaps there was time to make a few extra francs. He took her inside and looked at her mouth. "This tooth must come out," he said with a smile. When he was done, the dentist said, "I will give you some pills to kill the pain." The old woman was very, very grateful. "I can't pay you in money, but I have something much better." She took 2 figs from her pocket and handed them to Bebeau. "Figs?" he said angrily. "These are figs. These figs are very special," the woman whispered. "They can make your dreams come true." She winked at him and put her finger to her lips. It was clear to Bebeau that this woman was crazy. He set the figs down and took her by her arm. When she reminded him about the pills, he said, "I'm sorry, only for paying customers." And he shoved her out the door. That evening, Bebeau took his little dog to the park. Poor Marcel loved to sniff the tree trunks and bushes, but whenever he stopped, Bebeau would pull sharply on his leash. Just before going to bed, the dentist had a small snack. He sat at his dining room table and ate one of the figs the old woman had given him. It was delicious, possibly the finest, sweetest fig he'd ever had. So let's make a prediction. What do you think is going to happen after he eats this fig? Also thinking about our setting. We heard Bastille Day, we heard Franks. Where do you think we are? In the morning, Bebeau dragged Marcel down the steps for his morning walk. The steep steps were hard for the short-legged dog, but Bebeau wouldn't think of carrying his pet. He hated to get Marcel's white hairs on his beautiful blue suit. Poor Marcel. As he walked along the sidewalk, Bebeau couldn't help noticing people looking at him. "They are admiring my suit," he thought. But when Bebeau saw his reflection in the window of the cafe, he stopped in horror. He was dressed only in his underwear. The dentist turned and ran into an alley. "Sacre bleu," he thought. Another hint of where we might be. "What has happened to my clothes?" Then he remembered the dream he had had last night. In his dream, he stood in front of that very cafe, dressed in his underwear. Something else had happened in his dream, and Bebeau struggled to recall it. Marcel, looking out from the shadows of the alley, began to bark. The dentist looked up and saw the rest of his dream come true. So what do you think is going to happen? No one noticed Bebeau as he ran home in his underwear. All of the eyes of Paris, I think we know where we are now, were fixed on the Eiffel Tower, which slowly drooped over as if it was made of soft rubber. Bebeau understood now that the old woman with the figs had told him the truth. He would not waste the second fig. So, we figured out. We're in Paris, France, and when he eats the figs, his dreams come true. So, thinking about Bebeau and what he's like, what do you think he's going to try to dream of next? Over the next few weeks, as reconstruction of the Eiffel Tower began, the dentist read dozens of books on hypnotism. Each night before he went to sleep, he gazed into a mirror and whispered over and over, "Beau is the richest man on earth. Beau is the richest man on earth." Not surprising. Soon in his dreams, that's exactly what he was. As he slept, the dentist saw himself steering his speedboat, flying his airplane, and living in luxury on the Riviera. Night after night, it was the same. So he was rich in his dreams. One evening, Beau took the second fig from his cupboard. It would not last forever. Tonight, he thought, Cat decided to come in. Tonight, he thought, is the night. He put the ripe fruit on his dish and set it on his table. Tomorrow, he would wake up the richest man in the world. He looked down at Marcel and smiled. The little dog would not be coming along in his dream, but Beau had Great Danes. Well, apparently rich people have Great Danes. And not that cute little dog like Marcel. As the dentist reached into his cupboard to take out some cheese, he heard the crash of breaking china. He turned to see Marcel standing on the chair with his front paws on the table, chewing the last of the fig. Marcel just ate Beau's last fig. Oh boy. Beau was furious. He chased the dog around the apartment. When Marcel ran beneath the bed, Beau yelled at him, "Tomorrow I'll teach you a lesson you'll never forget." Then the dentist, angry and heartbroken, went to sleep. So, knowing what we know, when you eat the fig, your dreams come true. I wonder what happens when a dog eats a fig. Let's see. When he woke up the next morning, Beau was confused. He was not in his bed, he was beneath it. Suddenly a face appeared in front of him. His own face. "Time for your walk," it said. "Come to Marcel." A hand reached out and grabbed him. Beau tried to yell, but all he could do was bark. So, did you figure out, or did you infer of what Marcel's dream was? I think I did. The end. Thanks all. I hope you enjoyed The Sweetest Fig. I know I did. It's one of my favorites. I love the ending. And I hope you enjoyed it too. Bye all. Have a good day.